Okay, so this is the test we did a couple of weeks ago, and as a number of you are electing to resit, and for those who aren't, just to get further feedback on the test, I recommend you looking at your own test while I explain common mistakes. So for the first question, you're asked to find the like term. What that means is that you are looking for the term that has the same pronumerals with the same index. The coefficient, that is the number in front, is actually not that important. So there's only one term here that has an x and a y with the y to the power of 2, and that is e. Common mistake for expanding and simplifying for this one was, most people actually got this one right. You remembered you needed to do both terms and sides. The answer was 2 times x is 2x, 2 times 1 is 2 with the sign coming down, so it was answer D. A factor of 6x squared, well, list the factors, 1 and 6, 2 and 3, and then obviously x and x. The only ones that occur there are x squared, so x squared would be a factor. This was flashing back hopefully to beginning of the year when we did index laws. When you multiply, you add the indices, which means you end up with 3 plus 2 gives us 5. Again, most people were okay with this, remembering that you had to do both terms and the negative in the middle. This one here, a number of people forgot that you have to take the largest number out of both of them, and 6 actually goes into 18. So 18 has the factors 3 and 6. So the 6 comes out, and it's what's left behind is put inside the brackets. This one people forgot to add, to simplify that extra x there. Some people try to multiply with that as well. Remember to look at the signs that are involved. This one you had to expand both sets of brackets and then simplify. So collect your like terms. Again, you're looking for pronumerals that are the same or no pronumerals, and simplify that way. This one, people forgot to do the FOIL, so you needed to actually draw it. Remember, we did that so that you had a mechanism to check your answers. Okay, and the same thing for the number 10. Right, these ones. Common mistake here was thinking that the p take away p is just 4. It is actually 3p. Most people are okay with this one. This you had to rearrange and then simplify, and a few people lost the signs. Remember, it's the sign in front that moves with the term when you collect them together. A number of people need to freshen up their understandings when multiplying by negatives. A negative times a negative gives you a positive answer. A number of people put negative 30, but otherwise we're correct. So double check. If you're one of those people, you need to double check how to multiply negative numbers. Also remember that we are not testing your arithmetic. We are testing your ability to work with algebra, so you can use a calculator. 12a, most people were okay with. Again, just remembering to multiply both terms. B, people had issues with. Remember, when we don't write a number, there is an imaginary 1 there. We don't write 1 because it looks like a letter I or a letter L. So you are multiplying by negative 1. All that does is change the signs to their opposite. So we ended up with negative Q plus 5. Expand and then simplify. A number of people forgot the whole simplifying, or they made this a negative as well. Watch your signs, really important. These are simple errors. It's not about whether or not you can do algebra, it's whether or not you're reading the question. Expand and then simplify, again, it was this negative that threw people off. It changes everything in the middle, so it becomes opposite to what it was. And the last one, a lot of people managed to get this but then forgot to multiply the 4 as well. Great work on this one for the most part. A few people, again, watch your signs. Remember to draw the lines to help you remember, because a few people just added and had a 7 at the end instead of multiplying and getting the 12. A lot of people missed and put in a negative for the 3, so they ended up with x squared minus 7x minus 12. Double check. Show you working. Unless you understand that this is a difference of 2 squares, and there were very few people who I did it, I showed it to make sure that you are showing you working. This cancels this out, and that ends up with x squared minus 1. Again, I think just remember what just the square actually means. Well, it means it's by itself. So you could rewrite it like this and use FOIL to multiply it out. And a number of people were okay with this one, so that was great. Again, though, it was the signs that seemed to get people mucked up. Factorising, great work on this one. Generally, for most people, they got that one. This one, people forgot that it had to be the highest common factor. So the highest common factor here is 4, not 2. And this is obviously the really new stuff that we learned this year. Number of people managed to get it, which is great. A few people didn't show they're working out. This is enough working out, but again, watch your signs. And the last question was about drawing a pool or a garden bed, I think was this one. Remember to label that the path was x and x, and it was the same all around. What that allows you to do is go, right, well, the width is going to be 4 plus 2x, because there's an x on each side. And it allows you to do the length as being 5 plus 2x. Biggest thing that you can do to help yourself in mathematics is actually to draw a diagram, because as soon as you do that, you can start to stop trying to store the information in your head and instead just work from the diagram. So for this one here, a lot of people managed to get that the area in the middle was 20, because it was 5 times 4. Remember your squared for your units. Again, if you've drawn it and you've labelled it, your length was easy, your width was easy, but a lot of people forgot the x, or only put 1x as opposed to 2. Perimeter, remembering that that is the entire distance around, and it says the total, so it is not the inside garden bed, but actually the path edge that you needed. Simplify, and same thing with your finding the area.